Why is there such a great gap between the ideals and the realities of religion? And first of all, I said it is part of human limitation, that our ideals are not often the same as the reality that we live. And it's not only in religion that we have this gap. I will also say we have the same gap in politics. Politics is supposed to be a noble game where politicians run the affairs of the people. But in reality, we don't often see the same thing. And you can talk about any other aspects of human life. So religion, and especially religion as lived, is bound to have a gap between the ideals and the realities. But that doesn't mean that the ideals are useless. If we do not maintain our ideals and we abandon them because we think they are unattainable, then we end up having no direction, and the world will be all the worse for it. Another consideration with regard to this famous gap is that religion, holy though it may be, is not all about God alone. Because by its very nature, religion has to do with God and us. So there is the whole divine human element in religion, and the human element keeps coming up, often impinging on the practice of religion in a not too positive way. And I think we just have to admit that and not even get too scandalized when our human nature begins to influence our religious practices and our religious attitudes or those of others. We just take it in our strides. So it is part of our human dimension in religion. Also, by the social nature of human beings, generally, religion is not only me and my God. It is generally also a community, social dimension of religion. So once you enter that level, you are going to start talking about norms of behavior, about rules, about organization, about leadership and power, and it begins to get quite complicated. And these are the things which often ends up making it such that religion comes out not to be as noble and as sacred and as holy as it should be. Talk about religious politics. Look at what happens even among the squabbles you find among people who claim to be religious. Again, that is part of human nature. We take it in our strides. We do the best we can. And that immediately leads to the whole question of between religion and politics. Somehow they are quite related. I always like to think of religion and politics like spouses. Religion and politics, they often are married. My problem is that whenever we find religion married to politics, politics is almost always the husband. That is, husband in the African sense of the word. Because politicians are the ones who have the reins of power, who have resources and so on. And when religious leaders embrace politicians, hoping to get things done easily, if they are not careful, they will simply end up doing what the politician wants. And sometimes we complain that religion has become manipulated by politics. Again, I will say, that is something we should expect. In other words, we shouldn't be surprised that politicians, when it suits them, will manipulate religion. They will manipulate anything. At least Nigerian politicians. I don't know about your politicians here. So, when you are a religious person and you find a politician who comes and dances around you, it's you then who should be careful, knowing that this guy has his own agenda. If his agenda coincides with those of your religious faith, well, you can work together. If it doesn't, find a way of drawing the line. It's not always easy to draw the line. We know, for example, that the whole idea of how religion and politics interact, my brother here was just telling me they've set up even a whole center to study religion and politics. It's an age-old question. Well, the point I would like to make here is that for a long time in humanity, religion and politics were very much one thing. every nation had a religion. It was always generally to every nation has its own god. And that is why whenever there is war between two nations, it is a war also between their gods. This is the whole story of the Old Testament. The God of Israel against the God of others. But that is the experience of humanity. But I think the good thing we are living through now, we are living through a state in human development where we have gone away from that. And we are able to look at religion and politics as distinct entities, not necessarily totally separate, although here in England we talk often of separation of church and state. We don't have to go that far, but definitely you distinguish between religion and politics. And in the modern times, when you have people of different faiths in the same nation, it becomes necessary to distinguish between religion and politics. Otherwise, there will be no way to live in peace.